Hello guys, welcome back. In today's video we are going to paint the enclosures. I have already painted the base white just to give it to fill in the wood so the paint will fit better. I don't know what you would say. I have filled the cracks, small holes and stuff like that, and then I have painted it with the first layer of paint, and the second layer and the third and the fourth will be I'm not sure what you would call it, the same stuff you paint your panels with. They have a higher gloss, so it is more resistant to hitting it, and it would look finer, more unison, and have like that shine to it. The reason I've done that is because of this is inside of an apartment. It's not just in a reptile building or in a reptile room. So I wanted to look nice like furniture, and I wanted to fit in and not be an eyesore when you come in. So you can make it pretty the other way, but I've chosen this way. So yeah, the top sections down to this one will be white, and the bottom two, like this section and here, will be brownish reddish sort of color to match a little bit with the carpet over here, just to give it another look more. Yeah, I don't know what you call it. I believe it would look nice. So I have the panels here, and this is where my handles will go for when I take them off, and these hinges. Don't mind the mess. The paint I have is not an easy to work with paint. You have to give it a unison look to it. You have to smear it out, get paint everywhere, and then you have to kind of even it out so it looks unison and nice. And then you have to leave it alone. You can't touch it, because then you will, when the light hits it and you walk over see it, it looks like an even surface, and then you have some scratching and uneven places, and you don't want that. You don't want any runners either. That is when the paint kind of droops down. You don't want that either. So I'm going to show you how it's done on a few panels, and I'm going to show you how to mix it. At first it is already mixed, but the first few layers you can put a little water in it, makes it a little bit more easy to work with. And then on the last layer you have the directly from the back, directly from the bucket, and it's the top of the top notch finish. It has a gloss to it, and you want that gloss to really pop on the last layer. When you mix it with water, I'm gonna tell this later. So guys, this is the paint I'm painting it with. Whoopsie, I have a white one and another color. And when you first open it, you kind of have this layer on top, like a watery layer. Then you're just gonna stir it a little bit. You don't want to stir it too violently or shake the bucket or something, because you don't want air to be trapped in the paint, because then a lot of air bubbles when you paint it are gonna rise to the surface and pop, and when it dries you're gonna see these tiny craters everywhere. You don't want that. So you just want to stir it and and try not to get air trapped in the paint. You can escape a little bit, but you know. When it looks fine, that wasn't too bad. It was, so we're not gonna do too much. Just kind of do this. Then you take your empty bucket and you take a pencil and Then take the amount you need. Oopsie. Just pencil off the top. When you're doing working with this kind of stuff, you want good pencils, so you don't have hair and everything else in it. Put that to the side, and then on the first few layers you paint with this, you don't have to, but you can do it a little bit easier on yourself and give it a little bit of water. Not a whole lot. And that kind of makes it a little bit easier to work with. And then you can work with it a little bit longer, but the gloss won't be as high as when you use it directly from the bucket. So on the last layer you want to use a non-thinned out paint, if you can say that. But then you just stir it steadily, not too violently. Try to get the water mixed in it, and yeah, that's it. Okay, so I just wanted to show you kind of how you're supposed to do it if I'm doing correctly. Ooh. What you don't want is what I'm fixing right there. Ooh. Okay. You always start from the bottom and goes down, because if you grip or something like that, you're gonna hit and risk of hitting this, and then you can remove it before you paint anything else. So let's just get to it. Take your brush and then you just squeeze it on. I'm doing half at the time, and then you're gonna make sure you have more or less an even layer all the way. Then you take this one, and without moving your wrist, just do like this. Then you continue before it gets too dry. Do the same thing over here. Oopsie, and then you just do the same. Oopsie. And you shall do it without putting too much pressure. Just let it guide down. And then, if you can see, it should look nice and even without any. Oopsie. Just gonna remove that one, and maybe we'll take the next one too. There's something that needs to be around, so then I take my slightly smaller, and then just like that, just erase the line you made from previously. You gotta be a little bit quick. And then just to make sure, I'll do this at 2 powder. then just continue like before. All that paint in there. Nice and even. And if anybody was wondering how I know this, or something like that, or maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, I actually do have a degree in this. I'm an educated, I think it's painter decorator, it's called in English. Not quite sure, but I used to paint houses for a living and businesses and stuff like that. So I do have a little bit of a background in this, but definitely not world class at it. But I do know the method, and I do know you gotta be relatively quick. But if you make a mistake, don't worry, you can always fix it later. If you have something that goes down and it's been too long, don't touch it. Wait for it to dry, and then the next day you will. Then the next day, when you gotta paint it again, remove it. This was just a quick video of painting the enclosures. Hello, hello. Got a visitor. So yeah, leave a nice finish up here. Water can't be spilled anywhere, and it will be easier to clean. It just looks better. I chose to make this the finish like this hard one, the same paint you paint your panels at the bottom, so it has that shine. Let's see if I can. Makes a little bit nicer finish, has a higher gloss to it, so it's more water resistant, makes it look a little bit more homey, if you can say that. If it wasn't gonna be in my apartment and everybody would see it and would be in the middle of my living room, as you can see, I would probably just have taken a regular wall paint and made it easy, not really worrying about it. But since it's gonna be in my living quarters, since it's gonna be out here and I have guests over and they're gonna see it, I want it to look pretty, I want it to look nice. So that's the reason I spent a little extra money and a little extra days on painting it this way. So hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next one.